is season 3 of Whatever She's Having with Linda Hoffner
Claire Sumaduaria.
and we're here to talk about being fearless, showing up for ourselves, and being a champion for other women's success.
Well, welcome to season 3. It's been 5 months since we've been here, huh?
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
it's so much has happened.
Can you believe it's been 5 months?
No, it's
Summer,
way too fast.
vacation.
I mean, you still look good. We're right.
Yeah, a lot has happened. We had summer breaks
Yes.
and spent some time thinking about whether we were going to do a season 3, right?
Yeah, it's like a hard thought. We have to think about it. We did talk about it.
We did.
Yes.
We had to really decide if this was a commitment we were going to continue with. And then we started getting some notoriety for what we're doing and then felt like we really had to come back. So,
I know we have to. But you know what? It's quality versus quantity, right?
Yes.
We have to do better. And then, I mean, we have to respect our listeners and supporters. And also, I mean, we have to do some videos showing our faces
right?
somewhere.
So that's obviously the new thing is that we
Exactly.
are no longer just audio, but we are giving out this whole video thing a try.
I am very excited.
So shout out to the Frederick Collection for the use of their studio and for helping us launch our season 3. So very exciting.
And these beautiful, beautiful chairs.
Yes.
Wow. It's like all about sensory overload. It's like beautiful and nice to touch.
How was your time with your family this summer?
What family? I was like literally no kids with me. It was
Oh,
amazing.
that's right. You were solo summer.
I was soloing summer. It was nice. Well,
Yes.
it was nice because I injured myself, as you know.
Oh my gosh. I still can't believe it.
I hurt myself. So listener, don't rush to the buffet line when you're really hungry. Really look at the floor when you walk, because I was so fast running to the buffet line and I slipped on a tomato. Yes, and I'm still hurt and I'm still paying that to rush to the food
Oh my
process.
gosh. All while you were trying to enjoy time in Hawaii.
Exactly. I was trying to enjoy it, but it's okay. It's okay. I think it's like maybe part of the process telling me to be slowing down and also taking care of my body better too.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, it's actually meant to be, I think, somehow.
So the kids were on a big trip.
Yeah, they were on a big trip. 2 of my kids were traveling with their grandparents, and then, my middle one she was enjoying her time part with me, with her dad. It was a good summer. I think that I made a lot of solo trips, and then a lot of trips that's like helped me to learn about other businesses and then other business just like mine. But
Yeah,
also,
I think
yeah.
that's fascinating that the trips that you took were actually to go visit other like social enterprises, right?
I love learning. And then I think it's just like there's so many cool people out there. There's so many cool people, and then there's way bigger, like people have bigger hearts like us, and then they fully committed the whole rest of their life trying to support other people, which is really inspirational, and then also really humble. Make me really feeling like, oh, I need to like make sure that I need to do more, and that we need to do more to learn how to make it more productive, and then things like that. It's been a really great trip. I didn't get as a nice tan because I've been just staying indoor, cannot do anything outdoor at all. How's your summer?
My summer was good. I feel like we only just took trips in this last couple weeks.
Uh-huh.
So, June, July was really just spent at home and enjoying the beauty of the Pacific Northwest. And again, like trying to decide like what does this fall look like and what goals do I have and all that.
You always so many goals.
I know.
And your goals are really good. Usually always really epic.
And
Okay.
I climbed Mount Rainier, which we talked
Yes.
about a lot in season 2. So I did survive Mount Rainier, which was amazing. And really, I think kind of like your trips to the social enterprises, like climbing Mount Rainier and standing on top, really put the world into perspective for me of like really how small we are in the grand scheme of things. And I think the most interesting part was standing above the clouds and like knowing that life and craziness and the fast-paced like go that we live in was happening below me, and at the same time I was so far removed from that and in this place of total peace and quiet. And at night you could literally looked like you could touch the stars, right?
Yeah. How many nights?
It was, what was that? 2 nights up on the mountain.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just a really great place to be introspective and like think about what's next, right?
So how many women on the? I was trying to be like very like appropriate, like
yeah.
saying, but
Oh,
you
yes.
can, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, like how many
There was one other woman who was a paying participant like myself,
okay,
and then one guide.
and how
Junior
big is the
guide.
whole group?
We were 16.
Oh wow,
Yeah, two
That's
groups of
amazing.
8.
that's really amazing.
with the guides. So
Yeah, okay,
yeah, it was great. But like you said with your trips, just something that kind of rejuvenated
yeah,
my soul a little bit of
yeah.
like, and it was time for me, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't with my kids or my husband or anything. It was just, I mean, I was with a bunch of strangers also climbing the mountain, but really, a lot of time spent thinking and being introspective, which sometimes in our fast-paced world we like don't have time to do.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like I feel like usually we always on our phone to do things, right? Checking emails and checking text messages. When I was one of the trip I took was in London, and then I think there's something around maybe the way like Indeed and Slack and Asana was location focused. Like Pacific,
okay.
so where I cannot log into Indeed. So we are hiring at Belden, and then we in desperate need to hire more people to support our team, and I could not get onto the Indeed candidates. And I really, yeah, for me, I needed like it was really frustrating. I couldn't work at all because, and I got on VPN, I still couldn't work at all. I could not see any of the candidates, so I had no choice but not work.
Yeah,
I think that's like such a blessing in disguise, where I felt like I was really behind at work, but also it's out of my control, right? There's nothing I can do to change that. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just go out, go check out more businesses and go check out more things I can learn. Also just like, there's one day I remember I literally just drink and ate like the whole day of checking out this different hospitalities that other people offers from like other side of the world, which is really cool to do. And I think that here at home I never take that moment to spend the time just like sit and relax and then just truly study how excellent other people's are.
yeah,
Yeah,
and take in the world around you.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that same thing happened to me on Mount Rainier, and then also I just yesterday got back from a sailing trip in Boston.
Yeah.
And like when you're on a sailboat, you can't read. I mean, I guess you could read, but I would get seasick, so I did not read. And you just like we sailed for 6 hours, each day, and so it's a lot of just taking in the world around you and appreciating the beauty of nature, appreciating what it feels like to sit in silence, and be okay. Even if you're with a group of people, like there's not that constant need to talk. And I think that's important.
It's so nice. And then you just have to focus on people, not on the devices.
Right.
Yeah, right? It's probably good to the kiddos too.
Yes, they had no devices.
Very nice.
It was awesome. Do you feel refreshed?
I do feel fresh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, being really apart from my Asana was really hard.
And your Asana,
Slack, and all these technology, it was hard to be honest. But I do feel refreshed. And I do feel like I feel inspired. I feel inspired because there's one place I went. The hospitality service they had was excellent, and then they were Michelin star 1-star. It's not even like 2 or 3-star, but it was like beyond like how I experienced. Like it was amazing. The service is great. They're very attentive, and I learned so much more. And I actually took a couple tricks to come home to train my team to be better, which is like really good. So I feel inspired, and I feel somewhat refreshed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah.
So what? I guess like I'm sure people want to know why are we doing season 3 again.
I know, because we did have to really think about it.
Yeah. What convinced you to do it?
that it wasn't something I was ready to let go of.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was still this desire to keep having these conversations, having time with you, and I think just really having an outlet to talk about the things
Yeah.
that are on our minds or what's coming up in our lives. Like we have exciting things coming up
Yes.
that we'll get to,
Uh-huh.
but a place where we can kind of continue to explore what it means to be our authentic selves through
Yeah.
conversations and creating community.
And I think like because I feel like we do really well with boosting each other, supporting each other, and I think that I feel like I think there's room for us to support others, right? Like maybe
Yes.
highlight other like like badass woman leaders out there. Like there's so many, and I'm just
So
so
many.
in awe all the time. And then like when I'm talking to Linda, I know like okay, we have each other. Then let's go find learn from others we can learn from. And then I just think like our story is not done yet. And like what our message is not really clearly being expressed. Like what do we want to get there in the future? And also like I think I want to find like a goal for us to like reach for our podcast and for our community. Like what can we do more, right? And then what can we how can we amplify our impacts and also stories to more people and share with others, and then so we can listen to maybe others talk about their stories with us here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. And I think what we learned from season 1 and 2 is that people aren't talking about friendship necessarily, right? Like
Yeah.
they're talking about how to be successful yourself or how to grow your business or,
Yeah.
things that are very more, I guess, individualistic.
Yeah.
And not enough people are talking about like, what does it mean to cultivate a friendship that also becomes a passion project and a community message of
Yeah.
like, actually, we can do better when we work together.
Okay, so while I would say this month of August I've been pretty crippled. Like my knees hurt, I cannot eat right now, and I had to like do liquid diet for a couple of days. I was just not feeling well. But I think one term my director of hospitality taught me, I knew this word, but I never used it. And she was telling me something that a new task of something would be super life giving for her to pick up. Like if there's another responsibility, she would be really enjoy. And that word really imprinted in my head.
Life-giving.
Yeah, life giving. And I think like that's a word like, I really, really use, but I think like this podcast to me is very life giving. And then it gives me so much joy and then give me so much more open space where I can fearlessly and also openly talk about like my vulnerabilities, my weaknesses, and also the things doesn't bring me joy and the things that really bring me joy very openly with no worry of being judged. And I think that's super life giving for me. And then it's like one of the few things we can find like right in our lives. And I think that I'm ready to like take on this world with you more. And then that's why I think that we need to do more of the season 3.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think after we've both turned 40 now,
do you realize we only like less than halfway of what we're going to live on our time on earth? Because with technology and medicine, like we probably should live like 80 and 90 years old. We're only like halfway there.
oh gosh, we got a lot to do.
We better like take care of our bodies. Okay. I mean, lesson learned.
Do we need to do another self-care episode? This
This
one
time
for
you
you.
get the intervention for me.
Yeah. Intervention, of
No
course.
more tomato.
No more tomatoes. No, but I think that like as a lot of people stop exploring their boundaries after a certain age. And what gives me joy is to keep peeling back the onion layers of like what else is there?
Yeah.
There's mom Linda, wife Linda, daughter Linda, friend Linda, work Linda, now podcast Linda, all these different things that we're exploring and trying. And a lot of people are too afraid to take that first step and just doing it, right? Like even when we were launching season 1 and I was like, it has to be perfect. And you were like, no, we're just going to put it out there. And we've come a long way from that and from technical difficulties in trying
Okay,
to get
that's you
equipment to
now.
work. I know. And now we've upgraded.
Yes. With support.
With support. Yeah.
Professional support.
Yes. But I think that's part of like knowing what you need, right? And
Yeah.
like, okay, if we really want to take this to the next level, like let's invest and do that.
Yes.
Because it's important for us to put out something that we're proud of.
Yes. Yes. Like, you know, every day I tell my, like, you know, my best friend how proud I am for you and how proud I am have you in my life. And I think everything we make together should be something we're really proud of. And then also make our listeners to be proud too, you know, and they can like listen to it and then also be relaxed and then, you know, feel like they can be connected very authentically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want people to feel like they're seeing Claire and Linda.
Yeah. Well, where they gonna see? I feel like there's a lot of opportunities happening. What's happening? We have a lot of things happening this month
All right.
and next month.
We do. We have a very busy month. So since this is our like kickstart refresher
Yes.
on where we've come and where we're going,
Yes.
I think we should reveal like one of the big reasons that we've continued with season 3 is that
I cannot reach.
okay, we were recognized as 425 magazine Women to Watch, specifically for our friendship and our podcast.
Yes.
So here we go. Here is our cover. Very exciting. And we have some incredible women who we are
Just look at that spread.
honored
My
with.
gosh.
Miracle Ulatunji. I'm sorry, Miracle, for totally butchering your name. Sydney Mintle, Mimi Jung, and Kat Liu. And I think,
Can I see?
yeah,
Good.
this literally just came out, you guys. So we haven't even seen it really. But
Wow.
such an honor to be featured in
It's
that.
just
And
beautiful.
it is.
Look at the colors.
I know.
I love
It turned
it.
out amazing.
Yes.
So when Claire and I got the news that we were being honored with this title of one of their 2024 Women to Watch,
Yeah.
it was like, well, I guess we're not stopping the podcast because we got to keep going.
We have to.
Yeah. So talk about that is a magazine cover, but
Okay.
also
Well, there's going to be a live event. It's September 20th at the Hyatt at Renton. And you have to come. And then, you know, we are going to be, everybody on the cover is going to be speakers live that night. And then is it 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m.?
5, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess we have to send people the links then.
Yeah.
But we're going to be there. And, you know, I think it's just going to be a really inspirational experience where we can learn about everybody's story because every one of us are very unique. We all are successful in our own right and then uniquely as well. And then I think all of us from different industry as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a completely different, everybody's different industry.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's this, I feel like, and also because the, you know, the cover is so beautifully done. And I'm sure underneath it, there's different stories, you know, the journey for us to get here. And then that's why I think usually the journey is the most, to me, I think it's the most exciting part. Because then when you learn about the journey to get to success, is usually there's a lot of up and downs,
Yeah.
right? And then there's moments where we feel alone. There's moments we feel we've been cherished. And then there's moments that we found the aha moment that we know we have someone like each other
Yeah.
for each other. And we realize it doesn't matter what happens, we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think listening to this other women speak will be a total highlight of where they came from, how they got there, how they got their success. And somebody once told me that nobody interesting had an easy life. Like the people who are the most interesting
Yeah.
have the trials and tribulations, and that's the part that makes them interesting, right? Is
That's
how did
more
they
fun.
rise above? So
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing.
Well, I don't know if I can wear heels. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe I'll get some new sneakers.
Get some hot flats. Yeah, sneakers. That'd be great. I love it. And then, you know, the day that this comes out, once again, we are going to be featured for our podcast on Studio Live.
Yes. Oh, which day is that? The 17th? Right, 17th.
The day
okay.
that this launches, our
Yes.
launch date. We will
Yes.
be on Q13 Studio
Q13.
Live in the 9:00 hour, I
Yes.
believe. So that's great for us, for our podcast,
Yes.
and to continue to share our message about empowering friendships, which is so key, is having somebody by your side, a community, even if it's a community of one, right?
Yeah.
Like one other person, but we can't do it alone.
No, we can't. And then, and I feel it just it's such an honor, don't you think? It's like I feel like we've seen these like the recognition, and then the community support us on these, like, you know, these chapters, like, you know, leading up to awards and different things, and now we've been featured on TV because of podcast. And I think that like having the person to able to see us, and then, you know, it just takes one person to see us, then they can amplify our branding, and also what our message is so unique because there's connection, right? There's like truly authentic connection that we know that together we can always win. And then, you know, together there's so much more impacts. It's going to be really big. And then making just showcase to our children, also to other female leaders, that, you know, when we have somebody with us, you know, have that feeling of any kind of imposter syndrome, actually it's like out of the window, because we're going to have that friend in the crowd with us all the time. So we belong at the table.
Yeah. And we create opportunities for others to join us at the
Exactly.
table. Yeah.
Yes.
Which our next big thing
We have so many
is
fun
that
things.
this all continued to like push us to what is next for our podcast and what we want our listeners to get out of it.
Yeah.
And we have created a Women's Empowerment Night.
Yes, that's our big dream, actually.
Yes.
I remember when we first talked about it, we were like, hey, we talk about that like for a while, haven't we?
Yep.
Yes. And then I think the venue we picked is going to be really fun. We at the Woodland Zoo.
The Woodland Park Zoo
Woodland
with
Park
an
Zoo.
animal experience,
Animal
right?
experience, yes. I don't know what kind of animal. What do you think? Which animal are they going to bring to us?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
hope it's something exciting. Like
Okay.
a penguin or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Flamingo. No.
Well, we do have really amazing 3 speaker though, right? And then I
Yes.
think we are going to be releasing, right? And then maybe we can just share the news like over time. And then we can show, and we know one of them is Terry.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And then should we tell listeners who is going to be the speakers, or should we wait?
No, we can. Let's
Okay.
give a little teaser right now.
Okay. All right. So we have Rose Winter. She is a local Seattle influencer. She's from Australia. She is a mother of 1, and she is one of really close friends of mine. And I think because as an influencer, I think sometimes it's hard to see what's what they are like.
Yeah.
I think
And what's authentic.
exactly, because they are so stylish. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I feel really intimidated, to be honest. Like they're always so stylish. But Rose is somebody who's very authentic, very clear, and then very, I think she's also genuinely really kind.
Yeah.
And then when she says she want to help support you, she means what she meant,
Yeah.
right? And then so that's Rose. Do you want to talk about the other 2?
Yeah. So we have Terry Fujinaga, and Terry is. I met her at the TEDx Bellevue Women series. So she is one of the owners of that TEDx franchise, and currently serving as interim CFO of the Seattle Storm, which kind of turned into a bigger role than she anticipated. But so grateful that she agreed to spend time with us that night. And I think what's really great about her story is that she created the TEDx Bellevue Women as a platform for women to share their stories in the TEDx format. But she did it with 2 of her friends, right? And
Yeah.
so they took a friendship and created, a business from it, and then created it specifically to give other women an opportunity to share their stories. So I can't wait to hear from her. And then our third speaker is our current reigning Mrs. Washington America 2024, Darazette Banks, who is a dear friend of mine. I've known her since 2019 when I entered the Mrs. Washington pageant world. And she has an incredible story of resilience. She's 62 years old, so she's our oldest Mrs. Washington America that we've had. And she competed in the Washington system for 13 years before she won.
Wow.
She never gave up. She continued to come back and work on the feedback that she got. And what's interesting is she was first runner-up many, many, many times throughout that. And, you know, it was like 1 or 2 points that were keeping her from winning. And then this year she took home the title. And she happens to be a pastor. She and her husband are pastors at a church in Auburn. So also has a beautiful story of faith and keeping her faith throughout those different, years of trying to compete and just in life in general. She's a cancer survivor. And
Wow.
so very excited to hear her story too. But this night is something that we really want. We know that there's a lot of these out there right now.
Yes, there is.
But we want it to be something that our listeners can come away with some really great messages and takeaways of like changes they can make in their own life to kind of find their authentic selves and explore their boundaries.
Yeah. And also like meeting others like them.
Yes. And
right?
networking and
Yeah.
meeting others.
I feel like it's I just think it's like really amazing that like there's a lot of events like this. It means like we know there's a need for that. And as women, I feel like it's hard to find because there's so many personalities out there, right? And then there's always going to be someone who click with you and someone who doesn't. And then it's almost like the way we work close, we know what fits us the best and what's good for us. And then, what's like really making us grow together. So like the fact that there's like more opportunities for us to go learn and then finding more ways to build a community, it's like really great. I feel like it's really great growth. And then it's also like super cool to see, right? These like things happening and then we can always see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we always end with a quote or something inspirational. The theme for this is Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. And it's an African value system that is the belief in a universal bond of sharing that connects all humanity. So I think not only have we experienced that in our friendship, but that is what we are trying to create through our community of listeners. So
yes,
I am because we are, my friend.
It's really beautiful.
Okay.
It's really beautiful.
Season 3, here we go.
Here we go.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Okay, see you on next episode.
Okay, bye.
Bye.